Owning real estate is an empowering position to be in. Our piece of land that we live on is sacred ground. So when it's your own, you feel even more connected to the land and you can feel it nourishing you. The space that you create within the walls of your home, that is where you can be completely who you are. Home is where we celebrate, it's where we grieve, it's where we plan, where we dream. It's just very empowering.
Welcome to Women Awakening. I'm your host, Cynthia James. And, I've been doing this show for a few years now. And the amazing women that I get to talk to and introduce you to, it makes my heart smile. Because I really think this is the time of women emerging on the planet, and that our energy and our brilliance and our wisdom and care is needed more than ever before. We are watching things around the world that tell us that some part of culture has forgotten the importance of love and caring, and women carry it so beautifully. So I'm grateful that you're here. We do this every week. We're on all of the platforms, including YouTube on video. Look for Women Awakening with Cynthia James, and then subscribe, and please give us a review. Those mean so much to us. You can also go to cynthiajames.net. That's my website. I have a private community you can sign up for, and I have newsletter, and I have gifts that you can receive. So today, I have someone that I want to introduce you to. Her name is Edith Espinola. She's a top-producing, award-winning luxury realtor with over 20 years of experience, known for blending excellence, intuition, and heart. And as the founder of Espinola Real Estate Team at KW Bay Area Estates, she guides clients through meaningful and transformative real estate journeys rooted in alignment and ease. She is constantly ranked among the top agents in Santa Clara County and the KW NorCal Hawaii region. She's been called Rookie of the Year, Top Sales Agent, Top Sales Team, and KW Cultural Ambassador. She's also a life coach, an intuitive guide, and her heart for service shines through her leadership with KW Local Cares and KW NextGen, where she inspires young adults to build empowered, purpose-driven lives. Wow, Edith, thank you so much. I am so happy that you are here.
Thank you so much for having me here, Cynthia. I'm so excited, and I feel so honored to talk with you about the things that matter most.
Absolutely. Well, I want to start with how you grew up and where you grew up. Chances are you didn't come on the planet thinking you were going to be, a real estate maven.
No, I didn't. But, I did grow up in Santa Clara. And my parents, when they bought their homes, they always bought new construction. So a lot of our weekends were spent going and touring model homes. So I found a love for seeing the different kind of homes that were being built. And my parents, they really looked at how we live in the house so that they could make it a home. And it was wonderful. And then when I met my husband, my late husband, he was an architect. And so I got to see from his perspective, working with his clients, how they lived in their home and how home was very important. And so even though when I was young, I enjoyed houses, I, married someone who dealt with homes, I didn't think I'd ever be in real estate, right? I didn't even imagine that that was something that I would do. But when I found it, I realized there was a love for it.
Oh, that is so beautiful. And so I want to just kind of dive right in here. You know, one of the things that we're told growing up is that, real estate is an important thing to have. And yet, in all the women leaders that I've met and people that I've worked with, owning real estate scares them.
Yes.
And even exploring how to own real estate or how it can benefit them, they pull back their energy as opposed to opening. So, can we talk to those women first?
Sure, I'd be happy to. Owning real estate is an empowering position to be in. Our piece of land that we live on is sacred ground. And so when it's your own, you feel even more connected to the land and you can feel it nourishing you. The space that you create within the walls of your home, that is where you can be completely who you are. Home is where we celebrate, it's where we grieve, it's where we plan, where we dream, and it's just very empowering. So, owning real estate is very scary because there's such a big price tag on it. And, we need to make sure that we can afford to pay for it. We can afford to pay for the taxes. And it's not as difficult or as hard as we sometimes think it is. Because when we take away the fear of ownership, we learn how to work with what we have. So, like, for example, I deal with a lot of independent, powerful women who are out there buying properties for themselves. And, they understand that working with a realtor who wants to get you what you want is powerful, and then bringing a team together. So if you're working with like a loan officer, they're not going to approve you for more than you can handle. So when you do go to apply, know that you're being taken care of because everybody in the industry wants you to succeed.
Well, well, that's really, really beautiful. I mean, I will tell you, I remember many years ago, I was in Los Angeles and I decided to buy a duplex so that I could live in a part of it and I could rent out the rest. And I want you to know that it was one of the greater investments that I ever made because when I finally sold it, I made money. But more importantly, I had to have someone like you walk me through my fear and my worry of like, oh, what happens if I can't handle this?
Right.
So it says you're a coach and a
Yes.
guide. Does spirituality play in your business?
It absolutely does. I went through a very difficult time, my dark night of the soul, about 15 years ago when my husband died. So I had been going through real estate, being really successful and enjoying it. And then the big crash happened in 2008. And, at that time, real estate was a difficult industry to thrive in. Then my marriage was having problems. So we had separated. And during that separation, my husband died of a massive heart attack. So, oh, I know it was very, you know how you have those points in your life where there's the before and the after? That is the point for me. And the way that I responded surprised me. I didn't recognize who I was. I actually, um, I was in shock, and I think I walked around in shock for a full year. And in that time, my husband died, the industry is really crashing. My father died of cancer, and I was having a difficult time with the relationships in my life. Um, it was interesting how sometimes people like to put judgment and cast their thoughts and ideas of what they think I should be doing while I'm like recovering and trying to deal with my grief. So during that time, I had done research on working with healers to help
Mm.
me heal what was hurting inside, to help me deal with my grief. I learned how to work with energy. I have a spiritual teacher in Santa Cruz who is the founder of the Centaura system, and it's an energy awareness system. And that really helped me to connect to who I am. So my own spirituality started to blossom, and I recognized that we're not alone, that we are co-creator with source, and that bringing in my energy and amplifying source's energy, that it really helped me to help my clients do that same thing, to tap into their true self, connect to their spirituality, their energy of co-creation, and then we work together to help them find the home that they want to manifest.
Right. Well, because the home is a sanctuary.
Yes.
And, but what I love about what you just said is that because you did your own work,
Yes.
then it's easy for you to hold a container for other people as they open to their possibilities.
Yes, absolutely. And because I did go through my journey, I now understand how people, women, can get scared, right? And so, understanding how I went through it, I can hold that space for them and help them to focus on what it is that they need to focus on and create what it is that they want to create.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, it's really interesting because I've had a few of my friends sell their homes. And one of the big things about selling their homes is someone comes in and says, let me help you stage this so
Mhm.
that it feels like a place people can feel safe and connected to. I mean, is that part of what you do too? Is like you invite people to step into places where they feel at home?
Oh, absolutely, and I love putting houses on the market. So, what I do is my thing is to make the home as beautiful as possible to the potential buyers, and part of that beauty is energetic. So, I have shamans come in and clear the energy and then bless the home. So, our home is where we live our lives. So, there's always going to be some sadness. There's going to be some anger. There's going to be some stress, that residue within the walls and just in the energy of the home. It's just normal, it's natural living. And then love is such a high vibration that just echoes throughout the home once we remove any of the negative or heavy energies. And it feels so light and bright and kind of crisp. You know that feeling when the
Yeah.
energy is clear?
Yeah.
Yes. And then I have wonderful stagers that I work with, and they come in and they make the home. We focus on luxury, comfort, beauty. And I also have a feng shui master that I work with. So we need to make sure the energy flows just naturally and in support of creating an abundant and prosperous life.
Okay, everybody. Doesn't that sound like someplace you want to go? I mean, I want to live there.
Yeah, it's really fun when I do open houses and I meet the buyers that are walking through, because I could tell who the ones that are sensitive with energy. They always say, "It feels so good in here." I love that. I love
I,
that. Yeah.
I love that too. But I want to talk about your love of young people
Yes, yes.
and supporting them. Because when I was reading your bio, it said, KW Local Cares and Next Gen, and you inspire young adults to build empowered, purpose driven lives. How did you get into that?
Well, it's funny. I'm not quite sure how I got into it, but Keller Williams is the brokerage that I work with, and Local Cares is our office nonprofit to help agents and the families within our office, and then also in our community who come along and have financial need, right? So that is something that's very close to my heart because I've gone through very difficult times myself. I have been a recipient of a KW Local Cares grant, and it helped me when I needed help. It didn't make me feel like I was weak. It was feeling like I was loved. The agents in my office helped to support me in my time of greatest need. As far as the KW NextGen, that is a program that Gosh, like I said, I don't even know how I got started, but I was invited to the training. There was 150 teachers that went to Austin and were trained on how to help young adults ages to 18 to 24 um, become adults and learn how to live in the world after high school graduation or college graduation. And it's wonderful because it's all about learning who they are as an energy and living their life according to their greatest desires and what they want to bring to the world as their gift.
Mm.
And so originally it was called Quantum Leap because we know, right? Like just that little step, that little leap of faith will change the trajectory of your life. And so giving young adults the opportunity at the very beginning when they're just starting out and creating the careers they want, the relationships that they want, it's an honor to guide them on how to really fine tune that.
Well, isn't that beautiful? I would have loved to have had that when I was growing up instead of stumbling through everything. Yeah.
Me too.
Right. So I want to know how people find you and your work.
So I just signed up with school. So I have a community there, Edith Espinola, and I have a manifestation group and a real estate group. You can also find me at edithespinola.com. That's my real estate website, EDITHESPINOLA.com. And then I'm also on Instagram and Facebook and YouTube. So I think I'm pretty easy to find if you Google me.
That's great. Well, and I love what you're doing, and I love that you are supporting the feminine in opening to um, owning real estate and actually understanding the gift that it can bring in.
Yes, thank you. Thank you for allowing me to share all of that with you.
Mm. So I ask one last question of every guest.
Mhm.
This show is called Women Awakening.
Yes.
What do you think is the most important thing about women awakening on the planet in this moment?
I think the most important thing is to trust yourself. That's been one of the most difficult things for me to learn is to trust myself. But once I do, I realize how powerful I am and that there's so much more to life than I ever thought. So if I can trust myself, it helps me to remove the fear of stepping forward, the fear of being seen. It's the opportunity to learn who you are, learn who others are, and then let them learn who you are. So love yourself, love
Oh,
yourself and trust.
that is so beautiful.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for the work you're doing in the world. And how blessed are your clients and those young people that get to be with you as a guide?
Thank you so much, Cynthia. You are just such a beautiful soul. And I feel so honored to speak with you in front of your guests, your audience. And it's just, thank you so much.
My pleasure. All right, ladies. I end the show the same way, with different words. And Edith just said something beautiful. Trust yourself. And I don't know if you remember, but a few months back, I interviewed Tama Keeves, and she wrote a book called Trust Yourself. I think it's one of the most important things that you can learn to do. You can learn to love yourself, but that includes trusting your intuitive knowing, your gifts, your wisdom, and taking steps that your inner guidance will support you to walk through any portal of personality and possibility. So I just want to say I love you. I'm so grateful to be with you, and I'll see you next time. Take good care.